What's up, guys? Nothing like some Googan baits. What do we use them the Googan baits for? I'll tell you. I have a bag which I put over here called Fizzers. I call these Fizzers for a reason. These are some of my homemade lures I made. These are some of the crazy stuff that's already out on the market. Oh, everybody knows these guys. Everybody knows those guys, huh? Rage Tail. But we are going to do it with, today, a Googan Baits Bandito Bug. So we can show you guys how we do it. And then I'll have another one to add to the Fizzers. What do I mean by Fizzers? Well, it's been an old trick for years to get bubbles to come off of your baits. Something that brings a little more attraction to your bait. That's all it really is. And what that is Alka-Seltzers. Take a little chunk of Alka-Seltzer, and it started out with tubes. People would put it in the back of the hollow tubes and it would fizz. Just, you know, not like it does inside the cup, but let little bubbles out. And that attracts fish. It's a curiosity of, you know, these lures pop down into the water and they see them every day. People bounce them around, do things, do what they feel they need to do, and, you know, out they go. One of these hits the water, though, starts letting bubbles out. That's a whole new game. That's a big game changer. So, what do? The antenna that I've talked about before. This used to be an antenna that used to slide down. Well, I've kind of banged it up now, but yeah, that's an antenna. The top two pieces of an antenna off an old radio, I keep the top two pieces for two different sized holes. It used to go in this way. I take that, pull it all the way up as far as it'll go, and then cut it, and then smash it down, make a little safety handle there. And then I got two sizes. Okay? What we do is we're going to Texas rig these things like we normally Texas rig. So we're going to be coming in from this end with the hook and coming back in like that. So at the very bottom where the claws are, we are going to take one of our hollowing tools that we use to hollow. We're going to come in a little bit of an angle right here above the head. We're slowly going to start pushing that into that. I keep my fingers with good pressure on either side of that thing, so that as that thing starts coming in, I can feel that tool and know that that tool's centered. Okay? I know that tool's centered in between the two pieces. So I'm trying to keep that thing centered so I don't have a weak spot in the plastic. Okay? I go in about a good inch or so, somewhere in there. Then you just twist this thing around like this. Okay? Twist your tool around, kind of bend it to the side and stuff, and what you're going to do is drag that thing out. Okay? Then what I like to do is grab a pair of little tweezers, and I'm going to grab that little piece that's sticking in there. Okay? There's that little piece starting to come out. See that? In the perfect tube form that I made. So you're going to grab that. I like to grab it like that. I reach down in there with those tweezers and grab the end of that, and I just pinch it off and pull. Now that little section comes out. I put that in my melting pile because those do start adding up, and then I just go up inside that hole and I make sure I got all my chunks out. Okay, so now what I've got is this little bitty hole right here that's about an inch deep that goes up in there, and it's stretchy. You know, I mean, it's stretchy. I can stick heck the end of that thing down in there if I want. You know, it'll stretch to the width of that. You know, look at that. See, that paddle just went in there. See that? So what you're going to do is you're going to take a package of Alka-Seltzers. You're going to pop it apart. You're going to split it into a little piece. You're just going to shove that piece up inside there and have a little bit of it sticking out. Texas rig it, throw it out, do what you do with it, however you normally run your jigs and everything. And as that thing sits or moves, especially when it's sitting, it's going to start fizzing. It's going to have those little bubbles come out, and that's going to bring a lot more attraction to all of your lures. So trust me, it's a pretty neat little trick to do, and you can do it to any bait that's got a little bit of thickness to it. I mean, you can do it to worms if you want. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, if you're especially like finesse fishing, if you got a worm that's thick enough to just pop a little pocket in there somewhere along it, you know, it's a neat little trick that will get you more fish. Guaranteed it'll get you more fish, a lot more bites. Yeah, it's a pretty neat little trick, but you do need the thickness, you know, I mean, because you start putting that thing up against that, and I mean, you're talking, you know, kind of got to be careful. And even if I went smaller, you know, since it is stretchy, you know, that's why I like to use antennas. Some people use copper tubing, some people use aluminum tubing. I like to use antennas because it just works, you know, any old radio laying around. But then you got a little pocket in there to stick the Alka-Seltzers and get the little bubbles coming off and give it a little action that the fish aren't used to seeing. So hopefully this season that'll give you guys, if you haven't ever tried that trick, it'll give you a little bit of a advantage. And like I said, you don't even have to work them as much. You let that thing sit down there on the bottom and just kind of barely move it, and those little bubbles coming up off of it, it really intrigues them. Yeah, I'm not going to say much more about that because, yeah, it does work pretty cool. Use your own imagination of where and when you would use something like that. So that's about all I'm going to say about that trick. But hey, I hope you guys use it, and I hope it brings you more fish, you know. I really do. I hope you guys have a good season. And then it goes in a bag called Fizzers. So that guy now will not go back in with the rest of the Googan Squad's Bandito Bugs. It will go in my one called Fizzers. So I do use them. I got a whole big bag full of Fizzers. So including this year, some of my very own. These are the ones I'm hand pouring. So I'm actually doing some hand pouring this year for the first time. So, and these ones are all hollowed out straight down the very back, ready to go. So give it a try, guys. Fizzers. Hopefully that'll give you guys some more fish. Talk to you guys soon.